Welcome to the Amy Noel on Dyslexia YouTube channel. I have 5 sons with dyslexia and ADHD. Today, I'm so excited to have Dr. Neil Alexander Pass and Nishantha of the How to Dyslexia YouTube channel. Dr. Alexander Pass is going to talk to us today about dyslexia and relationships. This video is per request of a viewer named Sandra. I hope you find this video helpful, Sandra. Dr. Alexander Pass is an expert in this subject. He's written a book and several articles about dyslexia and how it affects relationships, mental health, and emotional issues. He has dyslexia, but that is just one part of who he is. He's also the SENCO director, or Special Education Needs Coordinator, of a high school, secondary school in London, England. He manages a large team that supports children with a wide variety of learning needs. He's also an author. He's writing his 13th book now. 3 of his books are available on Amazon. He has a PhD and he has done a lot of peer-reviewed research. He has numerous articles published in psychological journals. Dr. Neil Alexander Pass is married with 2 sets of twins. He has 2 boys that are 21 and 2 girls that are 17. I'll put a link in the description to Nishantha's YouTube video with Dr. Pass as soon as he gets that uploaded.
Hi everybody, my name is Nishantha. My YouTube channel is called How to Dyslexia, and in the channel I show dyslexic adults and dyslexic teenagers how to overcome the challenges of dyslexia and kind of lean into their strengths.
What have you observed about dyslexic children and their relationship?
Okay, children and their relationships. I would say that the relationship changes them at nursery age, where they go in thinking that they are like every other child. And they go in and they play and they've got different stations. However, when they begin to learn phonics, ABC and reading, there the differences start, and the dyslexic child begins to see that they are different, and that there is a difference from them and their peers, and they begin to then get fairly annoyed and frustrated by that. So that gap begins fairly small, but then it widens fairly largely, to the point that will affect social groups within the school, at break time, just what tables they're sitting with, just what friends they are with, and soon they will hear this term, you're dumb, you're not able to do things, you are stupid. So the child then will change from thinking that they can do things to things they can't. And that's where the relationships begin to break down because of those clique groups. And those clique groups grow by the time they will leave preschool or nursery to primary school to secondary school. And those support networks are really crucial. And so the dyslexic child will then begin to find different ways to make friends. And that might be the class clown, so that they are being seen as the funny one or the naughty one rather than the stupid one. That is crucial there. So with it, every year there's a class moves up, and they try and avoid stuff to cover up. And the class clown or the class annoying person could be one way that they will retain their self-image and with their friends. Say that they are good at sport, then the sport carries them through with those friends. It might be that their friendships develop with the table or the group of friends who are struggling as well, so that they are then in with a social group of these others, the ones that don't fit in.
The odd ones out.
Yes, and so a question that you need to pose is, are they with the other group by a choice, or is it their peers' a choice? There is nowhere else for them to go. They would rather break their pencils or pens in the class or forget things, rather be seen as the forgetful child rather than the stupid child. So it's all a defense mechanism for them.
What is your advice then for parents to help their kids in that situation?
I would say that best thing is to rather than focus on what they can't do, focus on what they can, find their gifts, help them develop their gifts. And this is the same from a primary school kid to a secondary school child or a teen. It really is helping them to find something that they're good at and develop that to the same or beyond the level of their peers. And that could be skateboarding, that could be knitting, or it could be sports, it could be craft, it could be selling, it could be playing the stock market for a teen. Yes, it's finding something that they are good at, is because they are normally stronger verbally, and they are much stronger in their ability to sell and but also for the parent to praise effort rather than the achievement. You worked really hard rather than, oh, you got a B or a D. Don't focus on the grade. Focus on the effort.
Even if they get an A, say, wow, it looks like you worked really hard. Not, oh, you got an A.
Yes.
Yeah, that totally makes a lot of sense.
Never focus on the grades, because as soon as you will focus on the grade, say the child works really, really hard and gets a D or E, they will see themselves as a failure. And the resilience comes from them bouncing back and seeing it isn't about what, it is about the journey. And that really is about removing the emotional relationship to a failure. As soon as they see that they failed at something, they didn't get the A grade, they didn't get the B or C grade, and they get depressed on that, that is why they will not develop resilience. So say that they can remove that emotional link to the failure and then bounce back, that will hold them within a great place for their future as an adult. Because we will know that millionaires will never get it right first a time, or billionaires will never get it right first a time. Their first 2 or 3 ventures will fail. And the ones that do well in life are the ones that will bounce back and say, okay, fine, I've learned from that, I will move on. Say that you will get depressed from that failure, you will never try, you will never move on from it.
And as a parent, if we detach emotions from those outcomes, that helps them detach emotions from the outcomes as well, right?
Yeah. Professor Martin Seligman very much relates this to the language use of a parent. Say the parent or the child, okay, the child says, I'm rubbish at math, okay? And that's such a common thing. I'm rubbish at maths, rubbish at science. The parent's role or the teacher's role is to turn around to say, no, you're not rubbish at maths. You could struggle with algebra, or you might struggle with the names of the galaxies. However, you know all these other things really well. So to be specific with the feedback rather than just joining in with that notion of I can't do things.
And what you were saying about finding what they're good at, Caroline Bateman, she has a YouTube channel as well, and she said that she got a math tutor for her son because he was good at math so that he could excel above his peers, and then he felt really confident in that. How do you think children with dyslexia can have strong relationships with their parents and their siblings?
With the parents, they need to be really honest, because the child will see the parent and think, wow, they've got a good job, or they're doing well in life, and so they don't see the parent as someone who was their age, going through school, struggling. Now, most parents will struggle to turn around to their child and say, you know, I also can't do that, or, you know, at a school, I was struggling as well. Okay, so the best thing for the child and for the parent is for the parent to be honest. And normally, say that a child is diagnosed and they are the first one within the family to be dyslexic, you normally find the parent will go, aha, so I struggled with that as well. Maybe I am too. And therefore, it's for the parent to be an adult and to turn around to say, look, maybe this is similar to the things that I went through to growing up. Now, a parent will also struggle with the self-disclosure, because for them, they don't want the partner to say, right, it's your fault. Okay, so the parent must be a grown up and say, yes, this is similar to the difficulties I went through growing up. However, I went through it. I managed to cope. I managed to develop all these strategies rather than covering up. It's quite common for the dyslexic parent to avoid reading to their child growing up. They will avoid it because they don't want to be seen to be lacking. Now, for a sibling should the relationship with a dyslexic to a non-dyslexic sibling. Now, difficulties can form is because the dyslexic child may be the main focus for the family, and therefore they will feel left out. And so the way that you will build that is to give the non-dyslexic sibling a role, helping more as a friend rather than a second parent. Yeah? So it really is making this family, bringing the family in rather than the child feeling alone. It's because some children feel it is just them, that they are adopted, maybe because their parents seem normal, their siblings seem normal. So it really is make this a way of bringing the family together.
Like a team effort.
A team, yes.
I don't want to take up too much time because I want to make sure Nishantha has plenty of time for his portion of it. And plus that's going to address Sandra's concerns. That was such a fun video conference with Dr. Alexander Pass and with Nishantha of How to Dyslexia. I know in my relationship with my family, what has really been helpful is trying to have open, honest communication and making sure that we have certain rules for when or boundaries, you could say, for when we try to hash out differences or have difficult conversations. We don't use cuss words. We don't come down on each other. We make sure that we try to be respectful. That way the communication can be more open and productive. I'll also put a link in the description for a couple resources that have really helped my family that promote forgiveness and service to one another. Above all, I think it's really important for everyone in the family to realize that each person is important, no matter what they can or can't do, and that everybody's value is equal because they're human. When we really believe that, then we can talk to each other with respect. Because I think there's a tendency to look down on the person that has dyslexia and to patronize them. Honestly, I had to deal with that in myself and be honest with myself that I did feel like I was above my husband or my kids because I could read better than they could. When you come to understand what dyslexia is, you realize that it does not affect intelligence, but it opened up the issue with me that even if I did have a higher intelligence than someone, it didn't give me a right to look down on them. The main thing that has helped me and my family with my relationships is to make unity my number one priority. Instead of trying to be right, or instead of trying to get something done or teach my kids something, I make that, yes, that's important, but it's not more important than being one. That motivates me to think of ways to approach those conflicts or those issues in ways that are more productive. In my personal experience, I found that when my husband and I are united, and my children, it doesn't matter what's going on in the world or in our circumstances, I am happy and at peace. Conversely, if our circumstances are fantastic, everything's going right, we have plenty of money, but our relationships are not going well, then those circumstances don't make me happy. I think that happiness is based in our family. As things in the world get worse and times get harder, it's going to be very important for us to be united as a family and to be able to communicate and work together to solve problems. Let me know if you have any requests for future videos. Also, like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.